Alright, hello everyone, it is I, GoldenNova, aka someone who doesn't know their raptors from their robins. Hope y'all enjoyed Lyrilistic Explain just now. It was very fun to write. I got to channel all of my energy towards the mislabeling of extra deck types in specific packs. Imagine you're someone who knows, like, about Yu-Gi-Oh! But, like, doesn't read what's in the packs. So you go in there thinking, oh, I'll get all the synchro stuff, and then you pull a bunch of Lyrilisks. But yeah, hello everyone. Hello Kevin Gardner. Hello Lambo Bambo. Hello Captain Blitz. Hello Chris Shorten. Hello Red Ass Jackalow. Hello Jeremiah L. Arkham. And everyone else who hasn't chatted yet. Hello. Yes, we have changed the setup. We're trying something. You might notice if you've seen my progression polls episodes that this is where I throw a bunch of stuff around. This is where I film those episodes. So we're gonna try this for a bit. It's at a different location. So I'm not in other people's ways. The other ones take place at home, so like Delilah and the Sky are there. But now that I'm at this location, I don't have to worry about getting up in everyone's jam with me talking about random garbage Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. So, before we get started with our usual stream stuff, I just want to do a little bit of a recap for what we did this week, because I'm very proud of it. This is the second week that we put out an episode every weekday, and while some of them were, you know, re-releases of old Heroes Explained videos, we were able to get out 2 Explained like normal, and we had a Q&A episode, basically because scheduling, things happened in me and Noah Jenks' lives that made it so we just couldn't come together to record that episode. I'll let you know if any further issues happen with that. Yeah, so no dogs. Yeah, unfortunately, there are no dogs here. There's a cat wandering the house, but they're not allowed in this room because there's all kinds of cables and stuff. Yeah, so the Q&A was a cool... I meant to do a Q&A ever since I went independent, but I just didn't have the time. So that gave me the chance to kind of throw that together, and it also kind of acted as another call to action for all of my Patreon and membership stuff, which is now more important than it has ever been. So, you know, expect just as much plugging for all of those as usual. I'll need to be paying rent and paying for food without a steady income right now, which of course is not to say that I don't appreciate everyone showing up and doing the liking and doing the subscribing and doing all that. That is super important for this platform at all. But if you have the disposable income to help any further, and if you were waiting for the point where I needed that, now is that time. So thank you all very much for listening to that spiel. Now we are going to go watch some History of Yu-Gi-Oh! As normal, and once we're done, we are going to transition over to the script writing process, and we are going to see if we can finally finish writing Invoked Explained. So unless anyone has any questions, I'm going to go ahead and pull up chat on my phone so that I can watch that while also watching history. Maybe I'm busy watching Free Guy on Blu-ray. Oh man, is Free Guy good? I want it to be good. It looks funny. I love Ryan Reynolds. Unless there's anything about him that I'm not aware of, that chap is a rather outstanding dude. Oh, and another huge thing that happened this week. Just today, we hit 14,000 subscribers, so we are now 40% of the way to Yusei Explained. Once we get to 20,000, I'm going to take a week and just research as many Warriors, Synchrons, Junk cards, as many of them as I can. And we'll see if we have to split that up between a couple of videos as well. Okay. Okay, got that there. Let me go ahead and move this over to there, and we're going to change the scene because Nova got all that set up like he was supposed to, except he didn't. Nope. There we go. All right. Oh, we also need to turn off Golden Song because that's going to get in the way. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what strangeness they have in store for us. Six Samurai Gateway is there, so that promises to be outstanding.
Storm of Ragnarok introduced the next wave of Six Samurai support cards that would propel the deck into Tier 1 contention. Other notable cards from this set include Chaos Hunter, Doppel Warrior, Karakuri Burrito, Forbidden Lands, and one of the most powerful cards ever printed throughout the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Max C. In this series, both MBT and
speaking of Six Samurai, there is someone, I think it's Fabian, who posts on every video that they're still asking for Six Samurais. It's coming. Don't worry. Not anytime soon, but I'm going to do it. But I'll still take your comments, please.
Will be traversing the sands of Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Each episode will take a deep dive into
Hey, Genesis, how's it going?
Unlock new strategies as new sets become available. Strap yourselves in because anything is possible. Welcome to the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! If you want 5% off any singles or sealed product, click the affiliate links in the description and use code SEMO5. And clicking the TCG Player affiliate link before you shop helps support us.
Adam Valera, so you never watch History of Jank? Well, I don't watch History of Junk because that's not a show. But History of Jank, I always keep up with History of Jank. That just happens like a few days ago, so it doesn't like... I only want to do one React thing every stream, and I don't want to keep jamming all of those.
To provide you with more amazing content. Well, the last one was pretty embarrassing, but at least now we can stop pretending that Plan Synchro Pre-Tengu Plan was anything playable whatsoever. Welcome to 2011. Now, for the first month of the year, there were no Yu-Gi-Oh! Events, but in February, people came out swinging in a radically different format. For the first time in a long time, people were playing different Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards than normal. Now, a couple of decks from the previous 2010 formats did make the jump. Things like Blackwing and Lightsworn were still extremely playable, but the two dominant forces in the metagame were Gravekeeper, which you saw Simo play last time, and this Six Samurai. Six Samurai was the deck that was going to the February 2011 YCS in Texas. Konami conducted a series of interviews with top pros.
Still play this in Duel Links, by the way, when I have the time.
Roy St. Clair advocated for Fossil Dime Pachycephalo and goes in match a sideboard tech you see to this day. And Jason Holloway said
Simo, more like Simo. Yeah, when the Simo is Simo.
More on that card in the next couple of months. For now, we're here to talk about Legendary Six Samurai Shien. This is one of the most individually powerful synchro monsters ever printed. You know this card if you played during this period, or if you played during the first couple of years of Duel Links, where the deck was just as powerful. It's an incredibly strong card that can negate a spell trap once per turn, and of course, he's got a pretty big attack stat as well. He can get over almost anything that the format was throwing at him.
Ties that bind. Ties that bind. Ties that bind.
And as a result, playing this guy over and over again usually meant you were winning. Now, we're playing Nazar Saran's first place deck from 2011 Dallas, Texas YCS.
I don't know what Simo is on, but I hope MBT wins, because I like Samurais.
He won both this YCS and a later one with Dino Rabbit, but there were always rumors surrounding him. Maybe he had drawn just a little bit too well. Maybe he was manipulating the cards in some way. And those rumors seemed to be substantiated when he was eventually banned around Dino Rabbit format. It was incorrectly reported on Duelist grounds that he had been marking cards, and that was the reason for his suspension. But in fact, Nazar was banned for something that many people do to this day: money matching. He had gambled an amount of money on a Yu-Gi-Oh! Match, which was against Konami policy, and earned him a 2-year suspension. He showed up to the event the next day to appeal the ban and had to be escorted off by police. Konami used to take money matching very, very seriously. Regardless, his deck list is fantastic. This is just about as consistent as
I didn't catch who that was because I was busy talking, but yikes.
If you draw or open things like Grandmaster of the Six Samurai, but Triple Gateway, Triple United, Triple Smoke,
Super GoldenNova, yikes. Hope I'm not that loud.
So let me just run through the cards real quickly. First, we've got Enshi Shien's Chancellor. This card is fantastic. Can be special summoned by banishing 2 Six Samurai monsters.
It's weird that you don't speed these up for the sake of time, Nova, not gonna lie. No, yeah, it's weird. This is just how MBT talks. It's weird.
Very powerful special summon. Sure, it's only got Cyber Dragon stats, but it's endlessly searchable. Hand of the Six Samurai does take your normal, but it's also a repeatable removal.
Honestly, I wish you talked faster. It's crazy.
A 2-star tuner and 3 copies of Kaigeki, a 3-star that summons a monster from your hand. One guess as to how they made the 5-star Synchro Shien. We've also got 3 copies of Kizan. This card is a 4-star monster that can be special if you have another Six Samurai on your side of the field. It's not only great for setting up really powerful synchro plays outside of Shien, it's also
prismatic receiver Uriah. Yo.
Each time a Six Samurai monster is normally special, you put 2 Bushido counters on this card, and you can remove Bushido counters from anywhere, including United, to activate any of these effects. For 2, you target a 6 Sam, gains 500, good for OTKs. For 4, you can add a 6 Sam from your deck or graveyard to your hand. That's the one you'll be using most. And for 6, you can summon a Shien effect monster from your graveyard.
Corbinisms, don't worry. I get you. I get what you mean.
Non-hard once per turn searcher. 3 Six Samurai United, which draws you 2 cards. 3 Upstart Goblin, which draws you
Well, Nova, Six Samurai spanging this one. Six Samurai spank all the time.
This is a very powerful card that allows you to prevent a card that would destroy
So it makes sense they do it in this one.
A 6 Samurai monster from resolving. So you could potentially negate stuff like Solemn Warning because this is also a counter trap. We've got 3 of those in 1 Solemn Judgment. In the side, we've got Cypher Soldier for 6 Sam, 3 Cyber Dragon, 2 Puppet Plant for 6 Sam, 1 Ballista of Rampart Smashing. This is a very strange inclusion. Double Nobleman.
Wait, what? Wait, okay. Do they explain Ballista of Rampart Smashing? Because I'm confused. Is it just to fight Gravekeepers to get over those huge defense stats? Is that what it's for? Did they tech that specifically? 1 copy? Incredible.
Tornado. In the extra, we've got Chimera Tech for machine decks. We've got 2 Catastor, 1 Decisive Armor. This is the first time this card saw widespread play. Black Rose Dragon, Green Colossal Fighter, Royal Guardian, Double Shien, 1 Android, 1 Mistborn, 1 Barkion. God, this card was absolutely killer. 1 Scrap Dragon, and 1 Stardust. So, I hope to show you what 6 Samurai
Incredible
is. Well, guys, the
synchros.
more things change, the more things stay the same. 20 history of Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't believe we're already almost
Put it away. I don't want to see it.
Kind of crazy, and so here we are once again. As you can see, we're playing a very similar deck to last time. It's actually like probably.
What's up? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing super well. How are you doing today?
2011 YCS Dallas. Joseph and I are actually going to be recreating the first and second place matchup for the finals of YCS Dallas.
Okay, that's what it is. Wow. Okay.
It's 2011. 6 Sam has entered the fray, and now how 6am is
Jeez.
slated to just dominate the format moving forward. Gravekeeper has just been one of the strongest decks for the past several months, although there haven't been any competitive events at this time. We saw that at the end of like October, November 2010, this was starting to be the case. And so now we're going to see how this deck fares in an environment where it doesn't automatically win if you slam down in Necro Valley. So let's go ahead and do the card by card. We have 2 copies of Assailant, a great card just being able to
Listen,
remove threats on
knock.
the field, either get in for a
Yeah,
ton
that
of
would
damage,
do
switch
it.
stuff from defense to attack, or if you can actually switch stuff from attack to defense and get rid of the low defense values, that's where this card comes in handy. The 2 of this card still seems a bit weird to me. I feel like 1 might be enough, but we'll see if it comes up. Triple Commandant to search Necro Valley and also 2100 beer, 2 Descendant, and 3 copies of Recruiter.
I'm glad to see, despite all of this, despite the decks he was playing, I'm glad that they still kept to the share if you play Gravekeeper's format. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to see this episode. Magical Android best synchro. It's pretty good. I like free life points.
Doesn't get much better than that. 2 copies of MST, 2 Necro Valley. Necro Valley's not particularly good in this matchup because against 6am specifically, they're not doing a ton of graveyard stuff. And so for all intents and purposes, this card essentially just says give all your Gravekeeper monsters 500 attack and defense, which to be fair, if you're giving your spy up to 2500 defense, that's actually pretty beefy. 3 Potted Duality is just nice to get to any card we need. 3 Royal Tribute, this is like our auto win button, but this card actually really sucks in the late game because if we're both on low resources and we top deck into this, it's not very good. So we may actually side deck this out if we know that we are going second, and we'll have to see how it plays out. 2 Smashing Ground, 2 Bottomless Trap Hole, a Mirror Force, a Royal
There's
Oppression,
Dark Attribute for a reason.
Copy of Starlight Road, rounding out the main 40. For the extra deck, it's just 2 Fortress Dragon and 2 Stardust Dragon. If you're playing Gravekeeper, you don't really need your extra deck in the slightest, and so you need Stardust Dragon for the Starlight Road, and you need Fortress Dragon for the Cyber Dragons in the side deck. That's really about it, ladies and gentlemen. For the side, though, we do have a new card, 3 copies of Cypher Soldier. This is formerly known as Kinetic Soldier.
Way to give your opponent free knowledge, though.
You guys in the comments can let me know if that's incorrect. This card against 6am is actually just ridiculous. If this card battles a warrior-type monster, during damage calc, this card gains 2000 attack and defense during that damage calc only. This thing goes up to 3350 by itself, meaning it can contest almost every single 6am monster that's going to come across. Just an absolute beast of a card against a warrior-focused meta. 2 Cyber Dragon, of course, just because it's good going second, but also with the gadget deck still running around. Still a nice card to have. We have a copy of Gores. We have 2 copies of Ryo. Ryo's not bad against 6am either because they do a lot of searching. They have stuff like Rhoda, they have Smoke Signal, so this may come in, we'll see. And then for the traps, a Chain Disappearance, 2 copies of Crevice into the different dimension for the graveyard decks, a Dimensional Prison, 2 copies of Goes in Match. Each player can only control 1 attribute of monster. This can actually potentially be problematic for 6am because 6am does play a
I want to be mad about the crevice, but it's like sometimes you don't have Necro Valley.
Because one of the things with Gravekeepers is that if you're not able to keep the monsters on the board, then you're definitely going to
All hail the might of Necro
But
Valley.
guys, I can't wait to see
Wrong.
what's gonna play out.
I
think
hate
it's
it.
ecstatic with
Oh,
Gravekeepers, and
wait,
ways that
do you hear
that's
that?
scary. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're not
Do you
gonna
hear
make it
that?
any longer.
It's time to jam.
Joseph, welcome to
Yeah.
11. You know, I said
Oh, God, it's a bop.
portion, but the more things change, the more things stay the same. So once again, share if you play Gravekeepers because we are running it back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited.
That's right.
If you play 6am too, this is gonna be hype.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I obviously am not excited to face monkeyflip.png, but I'm actually really pumped to play this deck. 6am it just is so strong, and it just gets stronger. This isn't even close to the optimal version. Once you get blue and red in the mix, oh man, things are gonna get so good so quick.
Not to mention we don't even have Dojo legal yet. Dojo, I believe we looked up, comes out in May of 2011. We are currently in February of 2011, and so I mean, we have Gateway at 3 though. You know, right? That's like all the deck really needs. If we're being completely honest, Gateway just catapulted this deck to playability at tier 1, and we played 6am in the
At least
history
not
of
Mystic
before,
Mind.
right? So I played 6am in
True.
the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Before,
True.
and it is not going to be anything like we saw the last time. It's going to be not just one normal summon and hope you can actually establish a second dude. We are going to be doing a lot more this time around.
Yeah, certainly right now, I'm really excited to, spend my normal on something like a Kageki, something a 2-star monster. Once we get to red and blue, I'm playing 5 monsters. You're gonna see a completely different one.
Just full board at the same time. I'm ready though if you are, buddy. This is going to be fun.
Oh, I'm prepared.
All right, let's go and top the patron. It is Todd, just straight up Todd. Thank you for the support,
Thanks,
Todd.
Todd.
Hey, thanks,
We're gonna
Todd.
do a pretty randomized method here. You gonna hold up some fingers?
Oh, I got some fingers up.
Okay, I'm gonna go with even.
Ooh, close. It was odd. 5, the number of stars that you're gonna have to be watching out for.
Fair, fair. I figured 6am might have been a bit too obvious, but I figured I would try anyway. You can go first. Big advantage. Good luck, buddy.
Good luck to you too.
Hope you enjoy my 4-card extra deck.
Ooh, wow, you were. Oh, I get to draw an extra card. I was like, this is not a good hand. Now it's perfect. Great.
Did you get the gateway?
I already had the gateway.
Okay.
I also have the United.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yo, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
over-
go.
You're gonna see it. Like nothing's gonna do it justice more than showing it in a game. Gateway of the 6 is maybe the most broken card ever printed in the history of time. A lot of people speculated that if it ever got a gateway searcher, 6am would be playable now, and to this day, it's like an FTK engine for almost anything that tries to draw your whole deck. Gateway gives you 2 Bushido counters whenever a 6am is normal or special summon, and then you can remove Bushido counters from anywhere to add 6 samurais from your deck to your hand. Did you know that 6 samurai has a lot of monsters that special summon themselves from your hand? So with
Really?
one singular
Shocker.
gateway, you can go pretty much infinite. And we may see that right now because my normal is the legendary 6 samurai.
Oh,
everything this deck.
yes.
Skip that United, which is top 3 for the deck.
Oh
That's
yeah,
really all we have to say.
imagine United is not the interesting card. It's pot of 3.
And then Kageki is just
Heck,
a
Mystic
special
Mind.
summon card,
All my
so I
homies
imagine
hate
there's a,
Mystic Mind.
Kagamusha
True.
feature, so, there he is. Fantastic.
Right,
Perfect.
so this is 2 6 samurais, so we're gonna put 2 counters on the United. We're gonna put 4 counters on the gateway of the 6.
This is literally the god hand. I don't know how you're losing with this.
Oh, we're gonna find out. I'm gonna remove I'm gonna remove 4 Bushido counters from my field. That's gonna be 2 from 6 Samurai United and 2 from Gateway of the 6.
Mhm.
We are going to go ahead and get a Grandmaster to hand.
Yes, the boy.
Yep.
All right, because I control a 6 Samurai monster, I can special summon this Grandmaster with 6 Samurai from my hand.
Yes.
On United, which unfortunately has a
Yes.
and 2 on the Gateway. We are going to synchro summon here, sending the Kageki and the Kagemusha to the graveyard, and we are going to summon a legendary 6 Samurai Shien. Here comes
Yes.
This card is fucking crazy. Like, this is where Yu-Gi-Oh really just starts to take a turn. And you know, I kind of sad I didn't really get to play during this time to experience this in person, but God, is this card a house.
He's also a 6 Samurai, so I'm gonna get 2 more counters on the Gateway and 1 more on the United.
Mhm.
All right, just like last time, we're gonna take 1 off the United, we're gonna take 3 off the Gateway. That's 4 total. We're gonna add a Keyzon to hand.
We're still not done. There he is.
Once this Keyzon is in our hand, we can summon it because we control a 6 Samurai monster with a different name. That's gonna put 2 more counters on the Gateway and 1 more on United. From here, we can take 1 off the United and 3 off the Gateway to get another Keyzon. And Keyzon, hilariously, is not once per turn.
Nope. Just keep going.
Nope.
We are going to do that. Keyzon again, 1 more on United, 2 more on Gateway. We'll go for it again. We'll take 3 off the Gateway, 1 off the United to get another Keyzon. We will special the Keyzon. That is going to be 3 on the Gateway and then 2 on the United. Now that we've done all that, we can trigger the United, sending it to the graveyard, 2 pot of 3.
So good.
So good.
3 cards.
It's so
Go
good.
ahead,
Anyone's game. Anyone's game.
Go either way. Go either way.
All right, everything in the standby phase for me. buddy.
Oh, the Royal
Okay,
Throne.
okay,
No.
don't know how we're doing this. We're
It's
being honest.
terrible.
Okay, let's see. Well, I suppose I will start by
Oh,
firing
no.
Gravekeeper's Commandant.
No response to this.
Okay, I will go ahead and with my Commandant grab a copy of Necro Valley. We'll add that to hand.
Yeah, we spoke a little bit about this.
At least one of those has to be a Magatama to lock this out.
As is, I don't give a fuck about that card.
card.
So I'll go ahead and fire the Necro Valley. Is that fine?
That's fine.
You know, when you're playing a deck that really doesn't give a shit about the graveyard, Necro Valley is just, you know, just a little buff if anything else. Buddy, I think I'm just gonna be setting, and I'm gonna set 3 cards and throw it over to you.
Wow, that's something. I'll draw for turn. Stand by me.
All good.
Right, we're gonna fire off an upstart goblin. I draw for the top.
Sure, I'll take 1,000.
This one's a thinker. All right, well, no reason to commit it to something like a torrential tribute. Maybe let's just trigger the effect of the gateway to 6. I'm gonna give my Grandmaster 500 attack, so it's at a cool 26.
Sure.
I will go to combat and I will attack your set monster.
This is where I must think now, because I'm still trying to find any possible way that I'm getting out of this. Yeah, okay, I guess I'll let it go. So it is a Gravekeeper Spy, which I will get to trigger the effect, although the Grandmaster, well, we're not gonna be doing any of that. All right, this was fun. Good game.
Goodbye. Yes.
This could have been any number of counter attacks.
You know what?
Yes.
Maybe we'll get that far, maybe, but yeah, but we tried our best.
Oh, I'm living vicariously through the 6 samurai power. Ooh.
I had a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Floodgate me out, you know, I mean, I guess she is kind of a floodgate, but it's not as aggressive as
That would have been if I
Monarch.
floodgated you instead of
Anyone's game. It's anyone's game. It's anyone's game.
Oh,
well, at least I would have been dead immediately, so that makes me feel a little bit better. I'll go first. Let's hope for the best. I think this will hopefully be a much different game with me going first, but
yeah,
probably
given
the
my
same.
opener, I can tell you that it's gonna be a little different.
Okay, I'm going to start by pitching this.
Okay, that's good.
I'm gonna go
That's
for the
good.
Necro Valley here, and unfortunately, I don't have Royal Tribute as much as I would like to just completely hose you right now. That is just not going to happen. I am just going to set 4.
That hand's actually really
and I'm
stacked.
just gonna pass here. Go ahead, buddy.
Stand by.
Oh, good.
All right, we'll go to main. I'll activate upstart goblin.
Sure, I'll take 1,000.
Okay, we'll activate United.
United is fine.
Yep.
Summon Kageki.
Kageki is...
No. Warning it.
I'm just going to warning Kageki.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
right.
I don't even want to get the counter on United, honestly. And
Go
we're
ahead,
playing 6 Sam, so I feel like you're pretty limited on what you can do after that. So,
Oh,
okay,
hold
we'll
on.
draw.
Are you warning the effect of Kageki or the normal summon of Kageki?
Oh, yes. The summon, sir. I'm not letting you get the counter. All right, we'll go to main phase 1 then.
Important distinction.
Why not just
Important
send it here?
distinction.
Like a guy, that's fine.
I'll hit for 2k.
Interesting
Second main, I will
phase.
set another card and throw it over.
It's a real phase.
Okay, all right. I mean, again,
Riveting
only so-
gameplay.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I have like 15 attempts at this one, I think. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, we are gonna activate Dust Tornado targeting the new one.
Sure, it's a goes in match.
Wow, that's horrifying. She ends Smoke Signal.
Yeah, this is good.
Okay.
If that card wasn't good enough, you also
Okay.
get it on top of it. Seems pretty
Uh-huh.
I am going to grab a Kageki. Normal the Kageki.
I will warning that Kageki.
You opened to warning, right? Okay.
Go ahead. All right, get a monster? Nope. I'll hit for 2k.
One more shot at this. Yep.
And I will set another card. Throw it over, buddy.
Activate Gateway of the 6.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's fine.
Normal hand.
Ooh, okay. Hand's pretty cool. So you are able to tribute another 6 damage, target a monster, and destroy it. Hand is fine.
Oh my god, we did it. Oh, thank
You
the
did it.
Lord.
No, I don't have another solid to stop you here, unfortunately, buddy.
Alright, we're gonna go for Grandmaster here. Yep, here's where things get bad.
Yeah, they're getting pretty bad pretty quick.
Yeah. Now he's just spun out of control. I don't know. I still think the
is fine. I'm thinking you can get your counters. I'm gonna think at the end of the resolution.
In that case, I'm going to use my ignition effect priority.
Okay.
And I will trigger the hand here.
Cost is to get rid of the Grandmaster. That is rough. Okay. I think.
Oh no. Royal Oppression would have stopped it though, right?
So out of hand.
Have Yu-Gi-Oh bed sheets. That man has Yu-Gi-Oh bed sheets, baby. I think it was just for like the subathon though.
Yeah, okay.
But he should keep them on
I'm
there.
going to activate MST. I'm going to pop the United.
Interesting. Sure. I have
So
no
chain resolves, descendant dies from the hand. Continue.
I'm gonna activate Gateway. We are going to grab Keyzon. Ooh, we do not have to get Keyzon. Oh my god. Oh.
Keyzon requires you to have 2 6 Sams on the field.
Oh no, it doesn't. But Grandmaster is not once per turn.
Well, as you add your Grandmaster, I'm going to activate Royal Oppression. Which this sort of hosed me before that I didn't preemptively flip this, but I was more concerned about something else.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Can't stop inherent summons, so gotta do it now.
Ooh, and Grandmaster has a frustrating bit of text on it, which is if this card
Even
in your
Royal
possession,
Oppression is
destroy my
this
card.
format.
Okay, so even though I added Grandmaster, if I summon
What?
it into the game because Grandmaster is not in my possession, I can't trigger
Why?
its effect. I got 6 back to my hand. Otherwise, I could loop you out with Grandmasters.
Which would be pretty gross if like this deck wasn't already good enough.
I mean, it'd be funny. I'll get in for.
It shouldn't have ever been legal.
Maybe putting you 800 lower. I'm gonna set 2 cards, and you are good to go.
Back row 2. It's got the Grandmaster looming. Oh, that's fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted. I will set 1 and throw it to you.
That was a pretty good draw. Look out for Sheehan Smoke Signal off the top.
Jesus Christ. Really? Of all things, yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. This deck's so
We'll take
consistent.
Kageki.
Yeah, sure.
We'll normal the Kageki and then get 2 counters on Gateway.
Yep.
I kinda want to just go for it. So Kageki's at 17 because I control a 6 Sam with a different name. I will remove 2 counters off Gateway to give my hand an extra 500.
Yeah.
Combat 17.
Huh?
Yeah, you're good, buddy. I already admitted defeat, so like, we already ruined it anyway.
Oh no! Oh, you did. Oh, I did it. It was.
Yeah.
6
Oh, man.
Samurai.
Watching this. We had
Baby.
play where Joseph searched Keyzon with the smoke signal, but the smoke signal's level 3 or lower, and so we were trying to just like redo it so that it was
This
we forgot
is
to-
what Yu-Gi-Oh
This
is.
deck has a million ways to get to lethal. I could special the
Yeah.
Grandmaster to do 800.
Essentially, yeah, that puts me to 26, and then you need what 500 to kill me, which like literally every monster in your deck is normal summonable, except maybe Kagamusha. I mean, God, that was just like I said we do a game 3 until like well, we have to do a game 3 after that. So let's go.
Ooh, I'm feeling good. The energy is flowing through me.
Jesus.
Ooh.
You know what's funny? I think I actually could have maybe gotten 1 extra attack in off Descendant, but I just like didn't go for it. And
You good.
that
This is
could've
the
made a difference,
2010s.
2000, but
Yeah,
probably not. I don't know,
a
this is
decade
so-
ago. It's old Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm gonna opt to go first here, and we'll hope for the best. I think this is a much more favored game for you, like pre-board. Post-board, I get a lot of help.
My board strategy for you is pretty minimal. It's like double up on Nobleman of Crossout and hope that you don't draw an aggro hand, which is something you can play around if nothing else. This is not as powerful as my game 1 hand, but it is much more powerful than my game 2 hand. So good luck.
Yeah, I was kind of just hoping to like Royal Tribute Necro Value, but that's not gonna happen this game. I do have the Necro Value.
You know what the worst part of this is? That doesn't even beat me.
No, I wouldn't be
Because
surprised.
if it's
Like,
smoke signals in hand, I could just keep them in hand, you tribute, and then I do the combo anyway by searching them.
yeah, exactly. Like the spells, because you have so much flexibility and search power. Like I can Royal Tribute you, and then next turn you just get all the stuff you need anyway. So I have a T set and a Necro Value, buddy. Go ahead.
Upstart.
Sure. Got it again?
Gateway.
Perfect. Fantastic.
Normal Kageki. You have
Show me
respects.
Kagamusha.
Don't have one. I will not be activating the effect. I do have
What?
the keys on.
That effectively gets you to the Kagamusha.
It gets me to the Kagamusha, but it doesn't really do anything, right? The Kagamusha can't be special for my hand.
That's true. You have to get it off of the Kageki.
Ugh.
Everything else can be special summon though.
God, I wish I had
Blech.
one additional freebie. I do not.
Grandmaster off of the gateway.
Special Grandmaster. I'm thinking if I
There we
want to
go.
go in here. If the set card is Descendant, or is what's his name?
Recruiter, Spy, which one?
Unfortunately, I have no tuners in rotation. Right. We are gonna summon another Keyzon here. Ooh, okay, sure.
Yo.
Would a...
So Recruiter would be at 2,000 buff by Necro Valley. Spy would be at 2,500 buff by Necro Valley.
Okay. I'm gonna take 4 off. We're gonna go ahead and grab the tuner here.
Make sure you take all of those counters off, sir. Thank you.
We'll just go to combat. Grandmaster into
It is a Spy.
Oh,
so
no.
like, using Gateway to pump him, but
Oh,
he's still
no.
We have an awkward situation that Spy summons to field here because
Old
unless I
Yu-Gi-Oh's
summon
Pot of Greed.
another
That's
Spy
older
specifically, like,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
basically, like, run me out of Recruiters, which is kind of annoying. Because Keyzon is 21 because you have 2 other 6Ms, and Recruiter's defense is capped at 2,000. That's frustrating.
Yeah, I figured this line specifically puts you on having to get the second Gravekeeper Spy, which is fine for me.
It's double Keyzon Kageki Grandmaster, right?
It's like the Magic the Gathering differences. Like there's modern, there's Pioneer. Like there's old formats, then there's old
I'll go,
formats.
So Kageki can't hit over because he's too
Oh,
big.
right. I'll go Keyzon into Recruiter.
Sure. So trigger, I guess I will add Descendant to hand.
Okay, going to second main. Go ahead.
A back row, sure. Any standby. Nope. Main 1. Well, I guess I have to give it a shot. I will run out Descendant.
No response to this.
I'm going to cry, actually, because this is not easy.
You gotta like wipe your whole board to get rid of everything. It's just not pretty.
It's not pretty, no, in the slightest. It's like nothing lines up well here.
Yeah, so if you descended just the Spy, you can get one of my monsters off and then eat the Kageki and then descend it in main phase 2. But then you're leaving me with like a Grandmaster or a Keyzon, and I've got a tuner in hand, which can just be anything.
And I know you have the tuner as well, so it's
Anything.
like that poses an entire new set of problems on top of it.
Right.
Anything standby.
Did
Alright,
all of
let's
this,
go
not a
to
single
battle.
Sheehan. Can
And
you
a wild
believe
please
it?
attempt to.
I'll take 300 here.
Okay. Second main, even if I descend it here, I can't even kill Grandmaster because he has the. Well, I mean, I
Floats.
can kill him, but then he floats. Yeah, so it's like I have to kill like Keyzon specifically here, which isn't pretty. You could also have Magatama, so if I descendant, then Magatama.
baby,
just
this
eats
is
my
where imagine
reward,
having
so, which is
decades,
potentially problematic on top of
plural
everything else. That's pretty high
decades.
risk, actually. I think I'm just gonna pass on this. I think that's actually correct. I think I lose on Magatama, like guaranteed almost.
This was a weird draw. Combat. I'll go Grandmaster into Descendant.
So this will be 100 here if I let it go. I think that's probably okay. Maybe got Kagamusha. I'm going to book the Grandmaster.
Sure.
This puts the Keyzons down to 18 now because you only control one 6M.
That's completely fine. I just needed to know what that back row was. Okay, let's see if we can win this one. Kageki effect.
Oh, off the top. Yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, we're so dead.
Yes.
Off now. We're gonna grab. Oh, who cares? Probably a Kagamusha.
I'm like, you need exactly Kageki to get to. Because yeah, you can't Elder. You need exactly Kageki to be able to get to Shien. So it looks like you're going for Barkion instead.
That's
Oh, so
not
for
sure.
Brian.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian's an option too. Sure.
This doesn't exactly do what I want. I unfortunately am too far ahead.
Oh, what a terrible problem to have.
I'm too.
Yeah, tell me
I'm
about
too
it.
powerful.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Come on back. So we're gonna go Kagamusha, Keyzon, Kageki to the graveyard for
Mistworm. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
And then I'm going to double-edged sword technique.
Oh, that was the set. Oh, that's so gross.
Summon back these two.
This is literally soul charge in this deck, and you get the counters.
It's
for the
literally
the-
soul charge
Yes, I do.
There it
in
is.
this deck.
Okay, let's take some counters off here. I don't know. There's just a lot I could get here. Let's go for a Grandmaster.
What embarrassment of riches on your side of the field. Oh, no, I have
God.
too many options over here.
I don't think
Power.
I can get Grandmaster because if you flip up my other Grandmaster, I'll lose one by game mechanics. I can't have that. I'll just get Keyzon, get 2 more counters, and remove all 4 to put the Grandmaster in my hand.
Okay.
So there we are. You know, we got Shien, we got Mistworm, we got double Keyzan. And you got one
Anyone's
to
game.
figure this out.
Anyone's
Let's
game. That might be a good start. I
No,
will do
is it
Outward
game?
if
2,
you-
4,
alright.
6,
Okay, there's the royal tribute right on time. Fantastic.
7.
None of this helps.
I think they're off by a
Fantastic.
couple hundred
There's one card
actually.
That would really help me, but I don't.
Unless they flip the
So I'm gonna
Grandmaster.
go ahead and grab a Stele. And we're gonna shuffle the rest back. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to fire Necro Valley. Got that established. Mistworm, Grandmaster. I got the Grandmaster in hand. Okay, I'm going to.
Oh right,
attempt
but they already
to
went through
Stele
battle
here.
phase. That's
Correct.
That's
I
why.
figured that was gonna be the case.
Completely
Back.
okay with me. No.
I know you just like don't give a fuck at this point. I will set and I will set. Go ahead.
All right, stand by main.
That's all we're doing. Yep.
I think my monsters are. I have too many of them.
That is a 1+ side here. Of you having 5 monsters on the field.
I'm gonna tribute Keyzon for Grandmaster.
Yeah, sure.
I'll gateway to bring Grandmaster to 26.
Okay.
Combat.
All right. It is a spy. Shocker there. Let's grab ourselves. Same issues before, I suppose. Get another spy, which actually does hold up against this board. So I guess let's do that.
Unfortunately, it does. You're good to go.
We'll see. For all the good it'll do me. Main 1. Suppose I need to stem the bleeding attack.
One spy. Who would win? One spy or
Well,
Nobunaga's army of
the
trained
set
samurais?
It's it's a plus. We'll take what we can. Second
Apparently
main,
it's
I don't
one
know.
single
I can stack
spy.
to kill the Mistworm, but like then I'm just like probably dead. Yeah, whatever. All right, we'll get rid of the Mistworm. I can't kill Shien because you can
Isn't
just
that so stupid?
Yeah, like it's not the fact that it negates spells and traps, but in addition
Yeah,
to that, if
just-
it would be killed, it can just sack off another 6 enemies.
You
So
die
we
in
have,
my
like, the perfect
place.
card to be able to combat this here. I will cry. I'll send another one in pass. Go ahead.
Stand by main.
All good.
Smoke signal.
Perfect.
Kageki.
Yep. We can go for Kagamusha number 2 here.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
There's Shien. Thank you.
Yes!
You get a bunch of counters on here.
Yeah.
You still have.
You can only have one
No, I understand. Like, I
Grandmaster,
can
but have as
warning
many
this, and then
Shiens
can
as
just
you
do
want.
it on
That's
4 counters
fine.
anyway. You can get another. Oh, you're out of Keyzons actually, but I'm still just like that here. So I guess I'll warning it.
Sure.
So I take what 45.
Yep. And then we go 4 gateway. Do I even have targets left? Let's find out.
You've gone through a lot. I mean, you should have a Kagamusha.
We'll just keep them right there.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Okay. Combats.
Sure.
Wow.
So this is 5, and then I take what is this 21 twice. So I'm dead anyway.
Yeah,
Yep. Didn't even
still
matter. Still dead anyway. My hand was just all monsters. So
I was
it
looking
just,
for a good time to drop hands, but my board was too full. I didn't have an opportunity.
I had a
have
sufficient
too
ground, but I
many
had no way to combo with it.
monsters.
The only opportunity I had was if you would have like negated Stele, but even then you had Mistworm up, and Mistworm actually would have died over the Shien.
That's
So.
so funny. Oh,
Wow,
What a disaster. What a fucking
Well, I mean,
disaster.
this is like now. If anyone ever wondered why 6am was just like at the top of the game, this is why. I mean, Gateway is just an absurdly broken Yu-Gi-Oh card. I mean, the fact that this card allows you to just constantly just Rota multiple times in a turn. It's not even a once per turn.
Yeah.
It's just maddening.
And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not remembering this correctly, he only ever drew one gateway at any given time. The United helped, but getting multiple gateways on the board is literally broken game design. It's outstanding. I'm so happy. This episode made me very happy. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up some invoked explained here. Let me see if I've got the... Let's go ahead and go to Facecam for a bit so we can check out my beautiful mug here. Alright, cool. There we go. Behold the death of Yu-Gi-Oh! And from its unholy unlife rises the new format. There's a puzzle game on Steam in which you have to unpack your stuff after moving. One of the levels has a GameCube. Some players didn't know what it was and placed it in the kitchen. Oh, is that what that meme was for? That's great. I love it. I'm so happy. Okay, well, let me go ahead and close this out. Because now I can see all of you. All right. Okay, so now this is currently where we're at with Invoked Explain. I think it's yeah, it's a little misaligned. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and... A bit late, but I actually thought of a potential Lyrilisk synchro and tuner back in the day. Okay, so let's go ahead and I forgot, where were we at? Okay, so we were on Book of the Lost, so we're partway through the supplemental invoked cards, which means we're almost done talking about the cards themselves. I think after this is Omega Summon Art. Oh, text too small. Right, I forgot that I had been zooming in the past couple of times. Let me... There we go. How's that, folks? How's that look? The Synchro is level 2 and helps attach Xyz material. That'd do it. And then you can play Formula Synchron, and then who knows what kind of silly shenanigans the deck can do at that point. And if that ever happens, I'll just go ahead and delete the Lyrilisk video, because then those jokes won't make sense and I'll look like a stupid idiot. As opposed to normally how I sound, which is always right all the time, especially when I don't know my rulings. Because then I'm just right. Okay, so, better. Awesome. Good to know. So, Rebel of the Law, I forget, did we already talk about Madness? Here's some... No, we've not talked about... That's so weird. Normally I talk about Madness after... Oh, actually, no. We got to talk about Madness and we got to talk about Algetties. So I actually think I skipped... I kind of skipped over how I normally do things. So I think we have to add that here. I think we're about to talk about the first wave of support, so no Madness. Oh, right. We're talking about all the first cards, and then we're going to talk about it later. That's why we haven't talked about those two yet. Okay. I'm remembering a bunch of stuff now. Or remembering things incorrectly, which is also a huge possibility because my brain doesn't work. But before we do anything else, Red Eyes Jackalow pointed out in the comments of the last stream that my joke about Cositas doesn't work because I was talking about all the different monsters that can attack in defense position that apply their defense, and it's like, oh, well, like there's so few ones in attack that apply their attack, but as it turns out, a lot of them do that, including what is it, Total Defense Shogun. Where do I talk about that here? Shogun, yeah, here we go. That Shogun. So the joke actually doesn't work. So I need to find something different to be outraged about here. So let's read this. Let's read through this a little bit, and once we get through it, I'll see what I can like come up with while we're doing it, or if you guys think of anything, because this is also chat rights explained. So throw at me your ideas, and I'll see if I can incorporate them into the script at large. Invoked Cositas is a level 6 water dragon monster with 1800 attack and 2900 defense. It's a dragon monster. Defense. Requiring Aleister. Okay, cool. They can be destroyed or targeted by your opponent's effects, and can attack while in phase of defense position, applying its attack for damage calculation. Okay, so this whole part doesn't work, which I believe is the only difference, defense position attacker that does that. Yeah, that, There are actually 3 monsters that can attack while in defense position. Their attack is applied during damage calculation. Yeah, but it's certainly more than, like, the minuscule, like, edge cases that I was talking about, so it just doesn't work. Be average about how it's one of the few actually banned cards in Duel Links. I think we actually, yeah, we already got that on here, so we're set on that one. Synchro, 5 materials would be ideal. Oh, man, huge. And has an effect to summon using an Xyz monster's material, but I can't remember what the effect is. That'd be pretty silly, but, you know, if they can... What was it? If they could make it so that ranks count as levels for Xyz summons, they could do it so ranks are treated as levels for synchro summons. Achieve literally nothing since the game won't let you use it. Huzzah! No, yeah, I think that's exactly what the end part there is for. So we got that covered. Defense position. So okay, so this whole section here that doesn't work. Everything else I think still works just fine. Everyone hates ice puzzles. They're terrible. I never want to slide on giant ice puzzles to get to a gym leader ever again. I'm so glad that's a thing that no one ever has to deal with ever. Damage calculation. Okay, which makes them the Virgin attack, defense attacker, along with total defense Shogun and Rampart Blaster, as opposed to the Chad, super heavy samurais and Ice Jade Ship Kingfisher effect. Oh, hello. Edwin Monterulli, thank you for subscribing. Fisher effect. Okay, which makes them the Virgin defense attack or defense attacker. Defense attacker. Oop, that's the wrong button. Attacker along with. Okay, so is this joke actually funny? That's the thing, because I've been seeing these Virgin versus Chad memes for a while. Is this actually funny, or has that ship sailed long, long ago? Don't do this to Casitas. He's doing his best. Well, if he's doing his best, but that means that he's not the same as super heavy samurais who can attack using their defense stat, which are all humongous. Cositas is sitting on 2,900 defense and is not doing anything with it. Sorry. Like, I give him his props later on in the script, clearly. But, you know, cards come with pros and cons, and it's just weird that it's not... It just sucks that he's not using his defense stat, which is huge. I think it's funny. I don't find it funny. Okay, yeah, so we got like a kind of a mixed bag here. I don't understand the Virgin versus Chad thing. There's like a... So, see, like, the thing is that, like... If you don't know about it, it helps to see the visuals. But like, I'm not going to, unless someone's gonna make me a Virgin, Cositas versus Chad, super heavy samurai Susanoo, image. It's not gonna look as good visually. It's just like a dumb. I think I had to throw up the yeah. I'd have to do the visuals on that one. I guess I could do it. Like, it wouldn't take that much effort, but I'd have to actually do that to make it work. And then I have to put like all the different like words and stuff. If someone submits that, if someone like posts that on Twitter or sends it to me on Discord, I'll do the joke. But until such times as that, I think we need to find like a different way to compare that. It definitely does work without contextual. Does or doesn't? I'm gonna run this one. Throw in the meme on top of it as well. Yeah, we'll need that. Let's try to think of something else, like an alternate though that I can work with. Attack rolling until defense. So in the meantime, let's go ahead. Which puts them in the same. Which puts them in the same defense attacker category as Total Defense Shogun and Rampart Blaster, as opposed to Super Heavy Samurais and Ice Jade Ship Kingfisher's effect. Which actually applies the superior defense stat. Okay, so that's a bit of a cleaner line read. It doesn't have like the joke. But if someone makes me like a visual something, I'll add it in there. Genesis, I can't stand the name Susanoo because it should be Susanoo, but it makes it sound like Susanoo. That's why I love it. Both printings they did that. When Super Heavy Samurai Susanoo and Bujinte Susanoo. And you could, like, I don't know why the localization department felt like it was not good to do that. I think Vanguard has it there correctly, but I guess Vanguard is like a smaller company and thus like knows its fan base will understand, where they're worried about how people are going to react if, I don't know, a name with an apostrophe near the end is going to make people go buck wild. Or something. Water's the least useful attribute. I don't know if that applies to this particular situation. Oh, hello. Javian Westmoreland, thank you for subscribing. Mermail hand loop. Gross. Don't like that. Let's not do that. What makes them the youngest member? Which makes them the youngest member of the defense attackers who apply their tax and social calculation along with the learner Aleister. No, I think that ends up like adding a bit too much, like stuff to think about, because instead of just saying that puts them in the same category, we're also now making them think about the age category among all of them, which isn't really like pertinent to this specific situation. So I think that adds a bit too much. It applies because the water used for material. Oh no, like we're talking about a water, but like talking about how bad water is doesn't like feel like it works on this one, because we're talking about just Cositas being like just being weird that it doesn't use its defense stat. I don't forget Lantern Dragoon. Lantern Dracoon. I don't know that. An apostrophe will lead to the end of modern civilization as we know it. They treat it like that. Just call it Konami, if you don't want me to call it Susan Uwu, then don't format it like that. The joke is right there. You have people who are online. You made live twins. You know what's going on there. Don't give me the opportunity, because I will make it. Okay, but for now, I think that fixes it. Everything else is fine. The way we wrap it up doesn't focus on that. It goes with the flow. Well, certainly goes against the flow of the other things. My question is, like, is there anything about this we have to fix now? Because I think we fixed it. But, like, is there anything about this we need to change that we don't like or anything? You can then make a baby joke, something like Cositas made a boo-boo in Duel Links and had to go to a timeout on the ban list. I mean, I could, but like the thing is that we've already written out like the entire thing. I don't know if we need to throw any of it out because we had to change a part at the beginning that wasn't like pertinent to the end point, if that makes sense. Because I think what we wrote down here just still works, because we're still complaining about the fact that it's a banned card and on a digital platform that you probably spent real money to get the gems to get, and now until someone in Konami flips a digital switch, you can't play it, nor can you trade it for anything else for like real world value or just have it personally. So I think that is just fine. So now that we fixed that, I think we can move back on to finishing. I think we finished Book of the Law, actually. We did the whole throwing the book at him. Yeah, so now we just need to go to Omega Summon. And I need to pull up all of the invoked cards here. Time to go to Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck, the one-stop shop for everything I need when it comes to research and card images. This is not sponsored, but you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck, if you're listening. Invoked, yes, the thing we were just talking about. The thing that is literally on the screen right now. Okay, so let's sort these. Okay, Omega Summon. Babading Babadooey. Is a normal trap that has you targeting any number of banished invoked monsters with different names and special summoning them in defense position. Okay, let me get chat pulled back up here. Okay. Oh man, goes. Oh yeah, Red Eyes, please go to sleep, get some rest, dude. Have a good one. Remember to make either a Violent Omega or Cyframe Omega joke when writing this. We'll see. Oh, it is. Okay. Night Eyes, Night Red Eyes. Make a joke about using Omega Summon is an alpha move. Ooh, that would. I gotta keep that in mind. That would be good. I got nothing to do right now, so I'm gonna try and be funny. Something about Red Eyes and Jackalope. Something about him. Someone find it. Someone find that joke. Bring up the internet. Not fun, man. Okay, so oh, that was spelled in position. Okay, so any number of banished invoked monsters with different names and special summon them in defense position. Okay, so if Book of the Law is here to help smooth out our fusion summons in case the necessary material isn't available, or to gain access to certain monsters when splashing them in, Omega Summon is the payoff for when we throw synergy to the wind and want to play nothing but a level for nothing but a good level for dark spell caster that searches invocation. Omega, I think you mean O'Malley. Uh-oh. If we start getting red versus blue references in here, I will die. If that happens, they will find me, and I will be processed on the spot. Okay. Omega is a normal trap that has you targeting any number of banished invoked monsters with different names and special summoning them in defense position. If Book of the Law is here to help smooth out our fusion summons in case the necessary material aren't available, unless the necessary material isn't available, or to gain access to certain monsters when splashing them in, Omega Summon is the payoff for when we throw synergy to the wind and want to play nothing but a good level 4 dark spellcaster that searches invocation. You got a few more goods in there for Aleister, not gonna lie. There's a good level 4 dark spellcaster, good invocation, good. If they find out he's making red versus blue references, they're gonna make him go supernova. Searches invocation. Okay, so invocation. What's the bridge here, though? Like, what do you use Omega? Like, what situation do you do that causes you to banish so many invoked that Omega Summon becomes like a really good card? Because you can't use Necrofusion because that banishes them all face down, so you can't like cheat that out. you're banishing a lot of their material for like, you could banish their materials for Elysium, and then get those back with Omega Summon. Yeah. So like, if you use 2 invoked for the summon of Elysium, this brings them all right back like they never left. No situation. You guys, do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior Aleister the Invoker? That's the whole stream. That's the whole stream right now. Them all right back like they never left. Because Invocation can only banish cards when you're using to make invoked monsters. So the only case where you'd be banishing them using Invocation is if you were making another copy, which isn't like too bad, I guess. Also, if you need to bring back any that you banished as fuel for the summon of another copy that you banished as fuel for another copy, it also works if you need to bring back any that you banished as fuel for the summon of another copy. Oh, roses are red, violets are blue. One day we'll cruise down Blood Gulch Avenue. It's red versus blue, blue versus red. If it's I against I and me against you. Violets are blue and roses are red. How can we go on living when we're already dead? How? How dost one do that? So you need to bring back any that are banished as fuel for some another copy. Can you control multiple copies of the same invoked monster at once? I forget if that's a restriction they have. Nope, I'm not seeing anything on either of those. Oh, it also works if you need to bring back any that you banish as fuel for the summon of another copy, which will become very relevant in just a bit, because Algetes uses a fusion monster as its other fusion material, so now we're setting up talking about invoked Algetes and how Omega Summon factors into using that. So there we go. That's a fun piece of interaction that we have. That's Red versus Blue theme song. Well, there we go. Bring back any that you banished as... Yes, you can. Okay, yeah, so that's so I don't have to worry about like making a Purgatrio and then summoning like a second copy of Purgatrio, and then weird rules stuff happens. So that's good. Is banished as fuel for another copy, which will become very relevant in just for another invoked. So let's just say another invoked. Very relevant in just a bit. Okay, so now I gotta wrap this up. So I did the alpha and the omega thing. Yeah, I think that's so. Becomes very relevant in just a bit. So if normal summon Aleister is the alpha that gets everything going, then this summon is certainly the omega. That is so corny and it's within bounds for my usual stuff. I'm not saying that I won't use this, but I want to see if there's something better than that. I know we were talking about red versus blue earlier, but at this point, I don't think there's a way we can like fit that in without like crowbarring open the script and making it happen. I don't think that's gonna work out. Lambo, I like how Aleister just summons these godlike creatures, and then Purgatrio is like, we are 3 gremlins who eat all your food and drink all of your soda, and I love them. Yo, I think Purgatrio needs to have like a sitcom. Those three look like they're having a hell of a time. Oh man, I'm so funny. I don't exactly like that. Yeah, it's kind of forced. Is there a way to do an alpha and omega thing, or are we gonna have to find a different? I have to find like a different differently, or we could reference Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega. We could do that. I don't know how we would make it funny. Irrelevant in just a bit, so if no. So Omega, it's the end. It's the end of things. Aleister is the Alpha and the Amiga, the Amiga game console, which you can have now for $34,000. Still in wrapping, still in package. So which will become very relevant in just a bit. Move this down here real quick. There we go. I can see the screen way better without having to peek over the pop filter. The pop filter. Greetings, fellow gremlins. Who's ready to cause chaos for fun? I hope. Please tell me I fit in the script and that I'm not really offbeat with everything. Well, let me see the other suggestions real quick. We've already made normal summon Aleister jokes, so that's... You're on track. Just trying to figure out... This is so weird. Oh, okay, let's try this. The card is aptly named because if you can activate it profitably, end of the game. So this card is aptly named because if you can activate it profitably, then this summon really will be the end. This Omega summon will be the end of the game. So this joke, so this is not so much of a joke. It's just kind of like a witticism. I don't know a good word for it. It calls back to the fact that it's called Omega Summon without being like heavy-handed with it. Every alpha needs its Omega to back it up, maybe. Maybe, but like then you have to establish like the alpha thing. There's not an alpha summon or like an alpha card that goes along with it. I think this is just like a solid way to reference the fact that Omega means end or represents end. I don't know the deep etymology of the word Omega, but I think this is functional as an ending sentence to kind of give it a bit of a whoof. Silly tech pick idea. Use slower swallow and Lyrilisk. Trust me. Oh, I think it's funny. Make a Mega Man joke. How do we wrap Omega into all of this? No, wait, that's Sigma. How do we connect Sigma to Omega and then make that the joke? to work with. There's no script, only pain writing. That's true. That is true. I'm pretty sure Omega is just pretty much like their Z, so it's Alpha and Omega is Z. Oh yeah, definitely. And it's used like symbolically to mean like the beginning and the end. So like that's most of what we're leaning to. I don't know. Maybe you could say the summon marks the end of your opponent or something. Will mark the end for your opponent. I think that sounds a little more dynamic. This card is aptly named because if you can activate it profitably, then this Omega summon will mark the end for your opponent. This is Sigma male of the archetype. I don't know. That feels so. So here's the thing. So when it comes to writing these, it's important to like get a flow for like how the names all work and stuff, or how all the subjects work together, and like kind of like mentioning a name of a different card, even though it's technically like in the spirit of it, it can kind of break things up when we don't mean to. Or an ATI be the alpha since he's the play starter. I mean, technically he is. He's off with the giant line monster that was reprinted in the Megatins this year. Someone else for combo a lot and die anyway because you get hand trapped. Haha, fool! I had the invocation. I like it. Keep it. Yeah, I think this is about as good. If we get like if someone suggests something that's like a real banger, I'll go back and like re up this. But for now, I think we just got to move on, especially because we got 2 hours left, and I want to be done with this script tonight so we can go back to doing regular streams and stuff, and also so I can make this. So, we covered Book of the Law, we covered Omega Summons. Okay, so now I got to bridge this with the rest of the cards. That's all the cards we got out of Aleister's initial release. But that wouldn't be the end of this Fusion Fanatics. This Fusion Fanatics foibles. Fanatics fun. As we'd get two more distinct pieces of support that would make it an arsenal. I don't know. That doesn't have the alliteration to it. Flexkin huevos. If we talk about eggs, maybe we can add that. I don't know if Aleister summons his creatures through eggs. Two more distinct pieces of support. Fusion Fanatics Fantasies. Oh yes, that's great. That's good. Fusion Fanatics Fantasies. Oh, I pressed insert. Ah, crud, that wasn't the right one. Forks, how do I turn that off? I hate this. Fusion Fanatics. Ugh, yeah. 1 sec. There we go. Whoever invented the insert function, I don't like you. Fantasies. You guys want to let Aleister have his fun. Unban Cositas and Duel Links. Do it! Do it! Wouldn't be endo. We'd get two more distinct pieces of support that would make their extra deck toolbox even more frightening. Now the question is, do we talk about Invoker of Madness first, or do we talk about Algetes 1st? 1st? 1st. 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 Because I think it'd be best to end with the Link monster so that we're not going fusion, 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 Link fusion with the spell and trap support in the middle of there. Why is he banned? Cositas is banned because it was hard to interact with, and then you gave it Power of the Guardians, which made it, on top of being untargetable and undestroyable by your opponent's effects, it also effectively made it unkillable by battle. So you had to like get removal for the Guardian first, and it was a whole thing. Okay, here are one out Geddes. I'm hearing one for Madness. And Madness comes first in lore and in release, so all the fusion summoning this deck does, you'd think Aleister graduated from Academia. Yeah, I think Aleister made Academia, and then everyone was like, we have to standardize a lot of this stuff. And Aleister was like, no, I'm going to shove demons into my body as much as possible, and you can't stop me. Okay, so Algetti's Madness. Okay, so we'll start with Madness, because it seems like, well, we got some Madness here. Okay, more frightening. And in the spirit of having an engine that incredibly splashable, and in the spirit of having an engine that's incredibly splashable, we've also got, we now have a new member to the no, this doesn't work out. Have a Link monster, and hopefully it'll be implied that everyone knows that Links are like super splashable monster. Aleister, the Invoker of Madness. Why is the Invoker cool yet so funny? Not because it's bad, but how good yet funny some of the art is. Which one's, like, we know Purgatrio's funny. Like, that's inherently just funny. I don't know, because it's a buddy comedy. Carolyn, hey, Nova, imagine combining the magic and research of Invocation and Aleister with the research and magic of Dragon Alchemy and Vector. Also, I wonder how Vector feels on having a Zexal villain with his name. Probably not good, because Vector's a vain son of a gun. As about their combination, I have no clue. And honestly, you don't want me to think about it, because if I think about it, Vector's going to know about it, and then Vector's going to want to do it. Invoked is the Dark Souls of Yu-Gi-Oh! No, X-Sabers is the Dark Souls of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's literally on the card name. No, Aleister didn't want the demons. No. I don't know. They seemed pretty set on summoning a bunch of outworld creatures. I think he was ready for them. I think he wanted them. Whenever I hear you say Algetti's, I keep thinking you're saying spaghettis for like a second. Well, like Algetti's has that like kind of like string pattern on him, so it's like you're taking like a fork and kind of like scooping up the La Maison. So you know it makes sense. Yo, has anyone else read the Pendulum Effect of Clock Arc? Just saying it's unique. Is Clock Arc the one that's the dragon that can like be different scales depending on which pendulum zone they're in? All right, let me go ahead. I'm going to look away from chat for a little bit while I write down Aleister, the Invoker of Madness's effect. There you are. There you are. They're a link to Dark Spellcaster monster with 1800 defense attack, acquiring 2 monsters with different types and attributes as material. Their name becomes Aleister the Invoker while on the field or in the grave. And if a fusion monster And if a monster is fusion summoned while you control Madness Aleister, except during the damage step, you can discard a card, and if you do, add an invocation or the Book of the Law from your deck to your hand. And if this face-up card you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can add an Omega summon from your deck to your hand. Okay. Hello, chat. I'm back. He didn't want to be possessed by a demon, though. Okay, fair enough. I'm pretty sure that was not something he wanted to do. I agree with that. But here we are. You know, maybe once the third one came through the portal, maybe you should have taken a break. I don't know. Also, X-Sabers is the NPCs of Dark Souls, while Invoked are the bosses of Dark Souls. Imagine fighting Mechaba or Purgatrio. Mechaba and Purgatrio both do look like Dark Souls. You know what? That's fair. Every one of those guys, even Raijin looks like a Dark Souls boss. Never mind, I retract my statement. Invoked is the Dark Souls. You misspelled because, and I'm going to keep it there. Okay, so we can combine them with these Shaddolls. Maybe that will fix him. Yes, shove more of the corrupting power of darkness into Aleister's body. That will fix everything. It's not. You're just enabling him. You can't let him keep doing that. He needs to go to counseling. I've known Aleister since like middle school, and he has a problem with like addictive personality. Like he gets like hooked on stuff, and it's just like the latest thing. He's really liking summoning the powers of like from different spheres. We need to stop this guy. It's for his own good. He has self-control issues. I hate to be the guy to say this because he's a good friend of mine, but we gotta do what friends would do and get him away from the invocation. Okay, just for like a little bit. He needs his time. Invoked is good in moderation, but that guy has like when he goes full Kalika, that can't be healthy. That can't be healthy. Okay, so got the effect down. Not recording if you do an invocation belong to your hand. Then drop CD. No, Chaos Emperor Dragon is going to wipe him off the face of the planet. You're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to get him to another fusion strategy. Maybe he can play with I don't know, his Magistus friends until he's no longer like being an equipped spell should be fine. You can just being equipped with people from the other spheres should be fine. Why did Ice Barriers get support for Royal Knight? I'm not making a Royal Knight Ice Barrier deck, even if it played me or Nova told me to. But I'm not going to because Ice Barriers are something that I want to leave behind. Wrong again. The entities are the Dark Souls bosses of Yu-Gi-Oh! The entities are the Bloodborne bosses of Yu-Gi-Oh! Very, very minor distinction, because they're all still Soulsborne enemies, but, you know, let's get our genres together. I don't know, like your hand. Okay, so the link material is very helpful. Material is very indicative of their splashability, since any non-dark and non-spellcaster deck can easily make this maddening Menace. And as long as you have cards in hand, you can keep... Dark Souls and Bloodborne is basically the same game. I have seen too many video essays to not say that they are basically the same thing, because those experiences, while similar, have some very distinct differences, and also one of them is like medieval fantasy horror, and one of them is eldritch horror. Just a bit. Again, punks are the main enemies of Dark Souls. Okay, that I don't vibe with. I don't get that. Captain Blitz, generators are the JRPG bosses. They are. That is true. That is undeniably true. You know, why do you want to leave the ice barriers behind? Because I just don't like them. I know you like them. I know you've been experimenting with them. I know you're attached to them. But me, personally, I'm done with them. I did the video. I'm finished. I have so many madness jokes to make right now. Well, then you better put them in the comments, Eldritch Horror. I'm gonna keep saying that forever. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has ruined me for the word Eldritch. Okay, so, man, as long as you have cards in your hand and you can keep summoning, you can keep searching invocation, because none of his effects are once per turn, right? Yeah. None of their effects are once per turn. As long as you have cards in hand, you can keep searching invocation, because none of their effects are once per turn. And if you manage to string together a bunch of summons and banishing all those invoked fusions, adding invoke... Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I noticed that. None of their effects are once... Yeah, none of their effects are once per turn. If you manage to string together a bunch of summons and banishing all those invoked fusions, then that Omega summon is going to be a pretty big. Well, then I guess it's time to put your fun on ice. I see that you are a cool person, so I think it's time to freeze the game. No! Don't freeze it. Wait. Okay, freeze it now. I saved this file. If I normal summon a bunch of times. You're my invoked mud dragon. It's none of the attributes all at once. Pretty big. Okay, so how do we round this out? I think we've talked about everything. Unless we need to mention anything else about Madness Aleister, we need to round this out with some kind of joke. I'm throwing an SRTV at Brainiac Silly Face. Not even the Necros. Nope, I'm throwing it at the dragon. Okay, then that Omega Summon is going to be pretty big. Okay, how about this? Let's try this. Now, unless I already made this joke about Kaliga once, I gotta double check how we ended Kaliga's section. Yeah, we already kind of talked about how it's not supernatural to have all those demon parts coming out. You'll never escape my ice barriers and my ice puns. Good! Send me your puns. They fuel me. They give me the strength to carry on. So I guess the link is going to invoke madness in your opponent. Oh, that could do that. That could work. I think we already did like an invoke something in our opponent joke, though. I feel like we've done that. Yeah. Meaning you can invoke a ton of fusions while invoking a ton of rage in your opponents. Yeah, we'd be double dipping on what is essentially the same joke in the same episode, so we can't do that. We're on that OTK here. My Dogoron and his flames. Ah, fire! That Omega Sun's gonna be pretty big. Although maddening is, we can do that. They're gonna be generating so much value for you that your opponent is going to find it maddening. I think that's fine. And in the spirit of having an engine that's incredibly splashable, we now have a Link monster, Aleister, the Invoker of Madness. They're a Link 2 Dark Spellcaster monster with 1800 attack, requiring 2 monsters with different types and attributes as material. Their name becomes Aleister the Invoker while on the field or in the grave, and if a monster is fusion summoned while you control Madness Aleister, except during the damage step, you can discard a card, and if you do, add an invocation or the Book of the Law from your deck to your hand. And if this face-up card you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can add an Omega Summon from your deck to your hand. The Link material is very indicative of their splashability, since any non-dark and non-spellcaster deck can easily make this maddening menace. And as long as you have cards in hand, you can keep searching Invocation, because none of their effects are once per turn. And if you manage to string together a bunch of summons and banish all those invoked fusions, then that Omega Summon is going to be pretty big. They're going to be generating so much value for you that your opponent's going to find it maddening. How is that? That sound good? Imagine if Rada invoked video the same day you show off yours. That'd be funny. There's no way. There's no way. Rada just did a video like last week. It's going to be at least 5 more until he does anything. You should also mention how pretty he is since he's Aleister or something. How about this? Now we have a Link monster, Aleister the Invoker of Madness. The mage that has demonic entities emerging from their corporeal form and looks good doing it. How's that? How's that sound? Sounds good to me. Yes, just yes. Rada ain't that fast. He's more quality over quantity, and that's our difference, because I'm more quantity over quality. Haha. Aleister's a pretty man. Aleister is a handsome dude. I'm just gonna check to see, along with some devilishly good looks. Yeah, because they're evil. Okay, Okay, cool, good to hear. Aleister the Invoker, not as good as Ryan Reynolds. Aleister's a himbo, prove me wrong. Okay, well, isn't the formula of a himbo, like, well-meaning, a decent man? No, a decent man is one of the outcomes. Nice, a little stupid, and strong. I would argue that Aleister, at best, is nice, but can't possibly be the other two, unless I'm missing something. Okay. So, we've also got a new fusion to add to the mix. Is Ancient Gear Golem a himbo robot? Absolutely. Absolutely. New fusion to add to the mix. Invoked. Oh god, how do I spell this thing? Let me open up the page. Invoked. Algettes. A level 8 light fairy fusion monster with 2800 attack and 2000 defense. And I'm going to check something really quick. Pull up some information. Okay, never mind. I was about to have a joke where Construct and Algettes have the exact opposite stats. But Construct has 2500 defense, so that doesn't actually line up with Algettes. Sag indeed. Defense requiring Aleister and any fusion monster as material. If fusion summoned, or when any number of monsters are special summoned to your opponent's field, you can target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Also, once per turn, you can banish a fusion monster from your grave. And Algettes gains attack equal to that banished monster's attack until the end of your opponent's turn. There we go. I can spell. Dante is Bay. Dante is very Bay. Contract 28. No, yeah. So here's what the joke was supposed to be, that Algettes has the reversed stats of Construct, right? 2028. But what I was trying to express was that Construct has 2800 attack and 2500 defense. So if you flipped those wouldn't match like I had wanted. That's how that goes. Stats are swapped, unfortunately. Gonna buy some aviation gin, switch my phone plan over to Mint Mobile, and rewatch Phone Guy. Well, hey, that's the power of Ryan Reynolds. He has such a likable persona. It's hard to say no to all the things that he's in / does. Okay, until the end of your opponent's turn. This means, despite having a below average attack stat for their weight class, you can still make them an absolute juggernaut so long as you can feed it a constant stream of fusions. Oh, wait, so that's right. Oh, no. Oh, wait, no. Did I not? Oh, okay. I wrote it down like the construct thing. That's what we're talking about. We were talking about what I actually wrote down. There we go. Thank you. Algettes blows things up and gets super buff. He really is the perfect man. I mean, piece of support. What's the difference? But you can feed a constant stream of fusions. It's also removal in the best way. Not only getting rid of a monster when they hit the field, but also any time your opponent would special summon. It doesn't even have to be what was summoned, so you can even hit established threats if you want. Now Geddes is Aleister possessing La Maison. Where's a good place to put that? We've also got a new fusion to add to the mix. Invoked Geddes, a level 8 light fairy fusion monster with 2,900 defense, requiring Aleister and any fusion monster as material. Kind of a flavor fail that you can't also fusion, that you can't use the what's the spellbook, what's the actual name of the spellbook tower? Yu-Gi-Oh! Grand Spellbook Tower? Grand Spellbook Tower. Yeah, okay. You can't also use the Grand Spellbook Tower as fusion material, since Aleister is, you know, wearing it. You already made a fusion, you already made a monster that's the fusion of 2 field spells. Don't tell me it can't be done. There we go. Okay. So, we've also got a new fusion to add to the mix. Invoked Geddes, a level 8 light fairy fusion monster with 2,000 attack and 2,800 defense, requiring Aleister and any fusion monster as material. Kind of a flavor fail that you can't also use the Grand Spellbook Tower as material, since Aleister is, you know, wearing it. You already made a monster that's the fusion of 2 field spells. Don't tell me it can't be done. I think that works. I think it's pretty funny. Doesn't even have to be what was summoned, so you can so you're also able to hit established threats if you want. Wearing a La Maison, that's even better than saying he's possessing it. Good. I'm glad. Okay. And with all the banishing of fusion monsters, once again, we're gonna have a good Omega summon. Banishing fusion. Once again, we're gonna have a good Omega summon if we can pull it off. Or Sarchic Drytron looking pretty sus after that last joke. It's gonna go in there. I'm gonna post that in there and be all like, "Yo, you got this. This is the physical evidence that you've done it before. You can do it again." Can it banish from? I'm gonna reread this. Can we banish our opponent's fusions? That'd be really funny. You can banish a fusion from your graveyard. Okay, so only our graveyards, unfortunately. Gosh. Oh, well, we can banish it with we can banish our opponent's fusion monsters from their grave without Geddes, so that's still fun. So again, we're gonna have a good Omega summon if we can pull it off. So how do we end this? What if we fuse him with Madolche Chateau? That'd be pretty sweet. Da-dum. And I've got to say, Endymion's been pretty quiet since this fusion dropped. Is that a good enough joke? Is the whole blank has been quiet ever since X dropped? Like, is that still funny? Does that kind of like, does that have the impact that I want it to have? Oh, Gotham's hands loops you for 6. The way of the X-Saber is a one-on-one duel. I don't want to see you bring any support cards to all of this. This is an honorable sword duel. Yeah. Here, let's bolster this. I gotta say, after running a whole format of seeing Pendulum Power, and Damien's been pretty quiet since this fusion dropped. It's funny, but I don't think it works in this context. Fair. If it only works if you know about the lore. It's not like a wide-ranging thing, and it doesn't like it doesn't inform the audience enough in this scenario to make it work. I have no idea what the joke is. It's like supposed to be some kind of like my from what I found out from context clues, it's supposed to be something like X has been pretty quiet since Y drop tracked, so it's like supposed to be like the music rap industry kind of deal is like the starting joke. Especially in like absurd situations where it's like, oh man, this dropped like 12 seconds ago. The rival's been pretty silent since then, huh? It's almost like they either are super scared of you or haven't had time to respond kind of deal. And since Endymion is kind of the rival enemy character, you see, the fact that I have to explain it this much is kind of proving that I need to rework that ending. Kale, how's it going, Kale? How be ye? Okay, so different ending. Yeah, but it makes the audience want to know more. It could. That makes kind of sense, but I don't know. The more we're talking about it, the less confidence I have that I'd be able to pull that joke off effectively. Oh, okay, let's try this. We're going to have a good Omega summon if we can pull it off. So again, we're going to be able to pull off an Omega summon of towering proportions. There we go. Mentioned how since Outgate is Aleister, that makes him pretty by default. Alright, in this case, I don't think I could find a way to weave that in. But you did the /J. I don't know why I'm saying that. Oh yeah, I was looking at Payday 2 mod. Someone made a Spampton charm, and I'm really happy. Let that hang out on your gun. That's great. I love it. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't even have to be what was summoned, so you're able to hit established threats if you want. And with all the banishing of fusion monsters, once again, we're going to be able to pull off an Omega summon of towering proportions. There we go. That works out. Yes, we established Grand Spellbook Tower earlier in the section, so the audience has a reference point for it. They're huge, and it also parallels the effect the Omega summon could have. Mwah! Grand. Absolutely good. I'm so glad everyone talked me out of doing that last one because that was not as good as this. Alrighty. Okay. So is that's all the cards, right? Just in case, before I move on, we can move on to the tech picks part, right? Hopefully this will be way better, because we don't write jokes for the tech picks part. This is kind of like a snappy episode ender. Here's some information that can help you like add other cards to the strategy. So I think we can move on to the tech picks part. If we need to add anything else, let me know, but I'm going to go ahead and get started here. So that's all the... That was perfect. Awesome. I like all... So that's all the invoked cards, but what do we do with them? Yeah, the ship was a few crates from a full cargo load. This works perfectly. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What do we do with them? Well, what do we do with them? Well, as a supplemental strategy, they've already seen great success as a way to add important toolbox effects. Porcelain, yes, that's the love, unfortunately. Well, maybe we'll get more. We'll see. Kale Dragon Corbin, why are you a wordsmith? That's a great question. I'd like to know why Corbin, you have such a way with text. Use Fusion Gate, Fusion Reserve, and Fusion Substitute. Those are things to keep in mind. Seeing great success as a way to add important toolbox effects to themes that lack interruption or attack power. But we're not trying to figure out how Invoked can help other decks. We're looking to see how far we can push Invoked proper. We'll need to we could play a ton of hand traps, as is the norm, to both stun our opponent and give us fusion material. But I want to see if there's any see if we can do some more research. I want to give us fusion material, but I want to see if we can do some more research to add some depth to this sublime strategy. So what can we play to help them out? Because I grew up in a family that's incredibly well-read and snarky, so I had to learn a lot about how to construct and turn a phrase at an early age. Trial by fire. Did he die in the 70s? And Aleister. We're pretty sure that instead they were taken to an underground laboratory and their identity was changed to the powerful monster we know today. Help them out. A theme that slots in very well with Invoked is surprise Magistus. Well, you're not going to be using the other spellcasters to link summon for Madness, Aleister. They offer a wide variety of attributes to play around with, and that's not even, and that's without even bringing up our younger magical scientist, Magistus Crowley. Let me pull up his actual name here real quick so we can so I can sound like I know what I'm talking about. Crowley, the Magistus of Grimoires. Of Grimoires. You can normal summon Aleister, get the invocation. Oh, I didn't spell that right. Get the invocation, then send them to the grave for Crowley. At that point, you can have them change their attribute to whatever you want, and now you have access to any invoked monster to fit that particular situation. Okay, so let's look at the rest of Magistus just to see if I'm missing any other synergies we can be using. Magistus, in that particular situation. This also gives you access to powerful cards like Zoroa and Leona, opening up the rest of the strategy to gain the help of other powerful extra deck monsters like Iwas and Calamity Zoroa. Okay. Also, Crowley's attribute changes a quick effect for some reason. Isn't that weird? That is weird. I don't know why would that be. I mean, Artemis is a Magistus and helps invoked, but I feel like that's too obvious. I don't know. Oh yeah, let's do that. Everyone's like Iwas, Artemis, and Calamity Zoroa. There we go. So no match for our young, plucky adventurer, Brave Penguin. The power of the Penguin team. Okay, so we've talked about Magistus. What's another thing we can add into invoked to make it spicy? I felt like I had something aside from Magistus. I came into today's episode thinking Magistus, but I didn't know what else we could add in here. Spellbooks. There's also a number of spellbook cards we can make use of. For your opponent's turn to become our turn. Spellbooks. While it's largely an archetype that concerned for its own cards, Spellbook of Knowledge is an excellent way to gain some card advantage. Just like how you can send them to the grave to get the attribute agnostic Crowley onto the board, you can just as easily send them to the grave with knowledge for a bit of card advantage. And since Invocation uses material in the grave, it'd be a waste not to do that. Any other spellbook cards that we're looking for? This means you can also run Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, a similar effect, helping you to draw into your effectively 10 copies, because you have your 3 invocations, you have your 3 Aleisters, and you have your 3 magical meltdowns plus your 1 terraforming. Helping you to draw into your effectively 10 copies of Invocation while setting up material for Cositas. And they can be searched with Spellbook of Secrets. Is there anything? Promenade Thrush is a neat card. It is. It certainly is. Some I thought Sage Koya would trigger off any Sylvan Sent to the Grave, but he really only procs off of Sylvan effects, pretty much. It's sad. It's sad. I don't know if Blue Boy helps Invoke, to be honest. It's not the strongest, but I figure as long as I'm talking about Spellbook, it's kind of hard to not talk about him. Okay, we're talking about Magic-Key. What's our Magic-Key synergies here? Because, like, it wants different attributes, but Invocation takes them out of the grave by using them as material, so I'm not sure if Magic-Key is a huge help here. Unless I'm missing, like, a synergy that we haven't talked about. Like, you have to normal summon Spellbook Magician and Aleister, so they kind of clash if you open both. They do. Not gonna lie, they do. Unless, because here's the thing, if we only talk about Spellbook of Knowledge, then it's a very short section. Adding Spellbook Magician of Knowledge and Spellbook of Secrets kind of pads it out. Also, how about Wizard Magician's Wand? Same as Spellbook of Knowledge, just not searchable. Here we go. Yeah, let's try this. What's that card called? Magicians. It's not called Magician's Rod. What is that card? It's not One-Shot Wand. No, Wonder Wand. Is that what it is? Yeah, Wonder Wand. Okay. Or if you don't want to worry about bricking on the Aleister Blue Boy hand, you could always just run Wonder Wand for a similar effect. There we go. There we go. That works out. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Albaz works because it's like all the Aleister fusions need you know, Aleister in them, and Albaz doesn't have. Albaz doesn't have an effect that makes it count as a different monster, right? Equip the tributes to. As with any deck that has broad material, as with any fusion deck that has a broad range on what can be used as material, super polymerization can be pretty clutch. Now, obviously, this usually means you'll have to keep Aleister on board, which can really telegraph it. But, and I'm going to double check some wordings here to make sure I don't seem like a fool any more than I normally do. Yeah. But you can alternatively I'm not spelling that correctly, but that's fine. But you can alternatively go into your invoked monsters as normal. Is there like a restriction on here? Well, visible on the field. Yeah, there's no restriction on here that says we can't do it this way. But you can alternatively go into your invoked monsters as normal. Then the second your opponent summons from the extra deck, you flip it. You flip over Super Poly and fold your invoked and their monster into Elysium. Now you've gotten their monster off board and can now threaten a whole board wipe. Can now threaten a whole board wipe. Whole board wipe during their end phase. Yes, nothing like making Kaliga with Aleister and my opponent's Dragoon, or making an invoked monster with my opponent's Aleister. Hey! Who says it can't be done? If they make Aleister the Invoker of Madness and they keep it on field, that's still an Aleister that you can take. Okay, so we had those fusion cards we were talking about earlier. Fusion tag. Reveal fusion monster extra deck. If you do target monster name because okay, fusion tag doesn't. Well, I guess fusion tag makes them an invoked monster, so you could then make them with Elysium, but that seems a little far fetched. Because you still need the monster special summon from the extra deck, so like the big issue with it is still on the field. Fusion conscription. Turn and also special set monster the added name. So Fusion Conscription can get Aleister, but you can't then normal summon them and get their effect. So that actually also doesn't seem too good. Fusion deployment. Reveal a fusion monster in your extra deck and special summon from your hand or deck one of the fusion materials. And that special summons Aleister, but then we don't get the invocation out of it. So I don't know about adding those. Unless there's anything I'm missing. Mud Dragon. My opponent's playing him, then they stole him from me. Onto the King of the Swamp. Mud Dragon. Yeah, Mud Dragon's good in like decks that want the invoked monsters but don't want to run the Aleister, because then it just becomes Aleister. So unfortunately, I don't think we want to run that. King of the Swamp. If we're going big on polymerization, that could work. I'm not sure if we want to do that. I'll go for Homunculus, the alchemical being. Crowley, the Magus of Grimoire, kind of actually does that already. While going along with like it allows us to still normal summon Aleister and still get that effect. So I'm not sure if like Crowley's the better version of Homunculus, the alchemic being. Oh, I know the archetype I was talking about. If Duel Links has taught us anything, it's that Element Sabers are an invoked player's best friend. Baby Mud Dragon into Money Mud Dragon for all the attributes. I forget. Let me look up Baby Mud Dragon. I forget. Maybe that will be helpful. It's new, so I don't have it memorized. Mud Dragon. Maybe there's only one D in there. There was only one. Okay, Mud Dragon. If this card you control uses a synchro material, you can treat it as a non-tuner. If this card is sent to the grave as synchro material, you can declare one type or attribute. Then target a synchro monster you control becomes the declared type. Oh yeah, that doesn't seem like it's very useful here. Unless I'm wrong about something, but it doesn't seem super useful in this deck. Duel Links has taught us anything is that Element Sabers are an invoked player's best friend. Like Crowley, they can change their... Like Crowley, they can change their attribute. But these warriors... There we go. Can do so from the grave. In this instance, you could use invocation to send the Element Sabers from your hand. Then any follow-up invocations can... invocations in the Element Sabers from your hand. I forgot to say hand. From your hand. Then any follow-up invocations will have the right attribute you need for the invoked you want. Oh boy, I am not putting any of those things into this script, I'll tell you that much. Chris Shorten, would Swamp Mirror work? That's the trap monster that can be, like, you can declare whatever attribute it is when it comes out. It's kind of like the same thing with Crowley. We already have a card that does that. And with Crowley, we don't necessarily need to wait a turn. We could talk about Mech Knight. Hell with both light monsters making. Yep, yeah, there we go. That we gotta talk about Mech Knights. We can't not talk about Mech Knights. Thank you for the reminder. You need for the invoked will have the right. But these warriors can do so from the grave. In this instance, you can use invocation to send the element sabers from your hand. Then any follow-up invocations will have the right attribute you need for the invoked you want. Seem like I'm... No. And you can't talk about invoked without their best partner, Mech Knights. By setting invocation, you can help set up setting invocation and linking Aleister into one of many available Link 1 monsters are great ways to set up your columns for their summons. Not only do they provide a wealth of attack points to help close out games, it's just nice to have a steady stream of light monsters to make mechabas with. Best partner, Mech Knights. Setting invocation and linking Aleister into one of many available Link 1 monsters are great ways to set up your columns for their summons. Not only do they provide a wealth of attack points to help close out games, it's just nice to have a steady stream of light monsters to make mechabas with. Never mind. Okay, I do like that reference. Also something that I am not adding to the script. Okay, I think is there anything else about Invoked Mech Knight we need to bring up? Because I think that pretty succinctly talks about it. So while we're waiting for a response on this one, I think we've talked a lot about we've added a lot of tech picks on here. I'm gonna say unless anyone has a silly tech pick that I vibe with, we're gonna go ahead and use Super Poly as the tech pick. We'll just like reorder this. Is there like any weird but it makes sense cards to use with Aleister as a silly tech pick, or are we going forward with Super Poly as that card? Ah, the Alucard. Okay. Fallen of Albaz as the tech pick. But we don't... like, what would we use Fallen of Albaz for? It doesn't do it. Doriado. Yeah, but like Doriado, like I have a lot of decks that like add Doriado as like a fun tech pick, but like if we're talking about Elemental Grace Doriado, we're taking attributes out of the graveyard. So like we can't use Elemental Grace, and I don't know if we can use another Doriado to make this work. Let's talk about a different Doriado. There's like the Pendulum one. Do we mean that one? provide a wealth of attack points. Station of light monsters to make mechabas with. And are the perfect type and attribute to help make madness, Aleister. Go on, thank you. Was Muddragon mentioned? Yeah, Muddragon was mentioned, not in the script, but like Muddragon is used for decks that want access to the invoked fusion monsters, but don't want to play Aleister. Unless I'm missing something, I don't think Muddragon is good for Aleister decks specifically. My deck pick is King of the Swamp. Yeah, but like King of the Swamp is just like, it's a substitute Aleister plus it searches you polymerization, but like, are we playing polymerization in an invoke deck? I don't think so. Doriado was DNA transplant. Because that like locks. DNA transplant doesn't do what we want it to do. Like, it doesn't change our opponent's graveyard. And all that would do would be force lock our own field into a particular one, which would make us lose, like, flexibility. So I don't think we'd want to use that. I'm an OG Muddragon, not the Synchro one. I think, oh, like the Fusion Muddragon? I guess that technically is the OG Muddragon. Dad and Element Sabers is hilarious. You get it every time. You don't play Poly in every fusion deck? It's weird to say. I know. But sometimes, not every deck is Frightfur. Elemental Heroes to Mask Hero, Mask Chain. Actually. No, I don't think we have the... Because, like, we'd want to use Mask Change 2 because we have a bunch of different monsters, but A, they end up being... The ones that we want to change into end up having really high levels, to my knowledge. I guess technically Kaliga is low enough level where you can Mask Change to them into Darklaw, and that would be funny. To summon Darklaw, make Mechaba. Oh, and you can just use it on base Aleister. Ultra Polymerization. Ultra Polymerization. I don't know, most of our material isn't on the field, so we wouldn't be able to then pay 2k to do, like, another Super Poly. That's what I'm angling for, to make the Super Poly segment that we've already written and make that our silly tech pick. Fossil cards because they both banish from the graveyard. We do have Magalonica. Guardian Chimera. I don't think Guardian Chimera works in Invoked the way it does in Frightfurs. Magic Key. I don't know what Magic Key adds to the table that, like, would be a silly tech pick for this deck. Like, Aleister doesn't inherently have any normal monsters to go with Maftia. And Invocation takes attributes out of our graveyard. It's hopefully out of our opponents, but, you know, consistently we're banking on taking them out of our graveyard to make sure we have access to it. Mask Change 2 is kind of funny. I don't suppose Rebirth Judgment works here. Too bad you didn't use types attributes. Rebirth Oh, is that the one that's the one that changes types in the grave, right? Because yeah, also I don't think it does. It doesn't. You literally can't summon Guardian Chimera. Yeah, because you have to use monsters in your hand or on your field, and you can't Invocation out of the graveyard. So you'd have to use Invocation entirely using cards out of your hand. At which point it's like, I guess, I don't know. Also, Brandon Red is good. Brandon Red kicks butt. A lot of people have been running Despia Invoked Dogma or Shadal variants. No, yeah. If it's a fusion deck, you know, more than likely you want to be putting Invocation in there because that deck is sick. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and make Mask Change 2 the silly tech pick. As for a silly tech pick, Well, we've got a very control-oriented card in... Oh, from hand and field. Okay, never mind then. Then it can't completely work at all. You're right. Protoplant, Dragostapelia, probably spelled that. I'm not to thinking. That's what Perform Pal Trump Witch is for. Let me double check Trump Witch real quick. Trump Witch. I use monster controls material, so it's just poly for the field. Monster you choose the card, add a polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. It's another like polymerization thing that isn't like super connected with what we're talking about here. In Mechaba. So why don't we turn up the heat with Mask Change 2 by sending Aleister to the grave. We can get Dark Law, which shuts off any hand trap that needs to go to the grave to activate. As well as stopping any graveyard strategy from flourishing. Even the discard isn't that bad, since if it's a monster, it becomes prime invocation material. And to top it all off, if you're sitting on a Kaliga, you can also mask change it out during your opponent's end phase, or even during your battle phase if you don't need the monster effects. To open up one floodgate to hit your opponent with another. Team Chaos Stream, did anyone bring up Magistus Invoked? We did. We did bring up the Magistus cards for the Invoked deck, so we've got that on lock. Okay. So, and that's all I've got to say about... We've got to say about Invoked, since Chad helped out with this. That's all we've got to say about Invoked. It's been competitively relevant for as long as it's been in circulation, and for good reason. For minimal investment, you can get some of the most powerful fusion monsters ever printed, while also denying your opponent material. Also picking cards out of your opponent's grave to deny them their effects. They've seen play in tournament topping decks, They've seen play in everything from tournament topping decks to rogue strategies that just need a little extra boost in playability. And you get to play a hot anime, man, on top of all that. And on top of all that, you get to play the hottest anime man in the whole game. How about Almirage and Secure Garden as extra deck picks? I've seen it everywhere. Yeah, it goes into what is it? We talk about Mech Knight Invoked and how Aleister goes into Link 1 monsters to help out with setting up columns. What's your favorite Invoked Fusion? Mine's I think it's a toss up between Raijin and Aogetes. Both of them have cool energy that I like. In the whole game. Okay, or how about this? Their persistence in the metagame has perturbed a number of people in the community, but no matter what they have to say, you get to play the hottest anime man in the whole game, and honestly, what more could you ever want? But now, I want to hear what you all have to say. I like the water one, but I forget its name. Cositas is pretty cool. But now I want to hear what you all have to say. Do you agree that Aleister... Oh, let's cut on that. But now I want to hear what you all have to say. Do you agree that Aleister... Fave Invoked Fusion is Raijin. Raijin's pretty sweet. The Aleister... Summon Aleister effect should go on for another. How long has Aleister actually been out? I need to see when this dude Aleister the Invoker since 2017 in the TCG side. So an Aleister should go on forever, or does or do we need to on 2015? Okay. Ever, or do we need to start packing more solemn judgments to what's a good, you agree that normal sound should go on forever, or do we, is that even a good one? You agree that normal sound Aleister effect is the way to play, or do we need to put a stop to this magical miscreant? There we go. Let me know in the comments, and if you haven't already, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video around. It really does a lot to help me out. And now we're just going to open up the a previous video. And we're going to plug in what I usually write in at the end, kind of like how we did with the beginning part. Copy you. Da-da-da-dum. If you want to help fund my quest to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, I'd be so grateful if you could check out my YouTube membership and Patreon links in the description to see if you'd like anything I have on offer. And then we talk about the credits here. In fact, I'd also like to take this time to thank my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commander, CozyBoat275, Nebula Navigators, Benjamin Meisner, Genesis Yu-Gi-Oh!, Gloomba331, Jared C., Maven, Panther J., Shooting Star 3300, The Wizard Moose and the Fresh Prince of Con Air, Cosmic Crusaders, Bear Sharktopus Studios, Chaz Ghost, Colin Todd, and the legendary Raven, as well as the wonderful Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. And that's the section you get to be in if you are a patron/YouTube member, in case you were wondering. Okay, then we have the last part. And if you want to see another video... Okay, so what's something... oh, here we go. If another video... To see a video covering Aleister's... Gotta figure out a video to plug at the end of the episode. Magic keep after you. Covering Aleister's auspicious origins. Check out this video I did covering Magistus. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. And, folks, we just wrote Invoked Explained. It only took us 2 weeks. It only took us 3 weeks to do it, but gosh darn it, we did it. So I'm going to go ahead and export this over to, normally what I do is I send this over through Gmail and then I read off the preview on that one. Let's go ahead and see how many pages we got here. Invoked Explained. Invoked Explained. That, send that over. Okay, so we got a almost a 5-page script. Not bad. That's going to be about 15 to 20 minutes of video right there. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty sweet, not going to lie. Oh, I just showed up. Ah, sorry, Ava. We just you just missed it, but we got this in the can. So and we still have 30 minutes left, so we got a couple things we can do here. We can talk about I can either read through the entire script to make sure it sounds good while we're all here to see if there's anything we want to add. Though it's actually getting a little sore, actually. I think we might want to have to call it here, because I don't think there's anything we can do in the next 30 minutes aside from like rereading all of this, or I guess watching any other reaction content. You know, the thing you come to the GoldenNova stream to do. Regardless of what we do, this will definitely be around sometime next month. It'll be nice to have a script already written out that I can work on. Custom card video soon. Once I get some time, honestly, I gotta figure out like a cool format. I want to make like the Nova scale. So N-O-V-A. I need 4 words that describe custom cards that make that acronym. That's currently what I'm waiting. That's currently what I'm trying to figure out to do that. Yeah, so is there anything just before we clear out the stream? Is there anything out of I guess I'd have to reread all of this to make sure everyone knows about it. But for anyone who's been in past streams, is there anything that we want to revisit to try and get this stuff fixed? Lambo, hey, funny thing, Gotham's is the only synchro monster that can be summoned by tuners. You know why? Because Gotham says it shows 1 Earth and 1 or more Earth monsters. Yep. does not say you have to use just one tuner. So technically, you can also double tune Gothams for weirdness. 30 minutes left, so you can go find that cat. Oh man, okay. So the house I'm in right now is way bigger than the one I'm normally at. I have no clue where Lulu is. And even if Lulu is not a cat that I live with, so Lulu doesn't like trust me implicitly, I can't just pick them up and bring them. So I think it would be bad for everyone involved if I started trying to find her and pick her up and bring her over here. So yeah, I don't think there's much more to do for the stream tonight, folks. I guess we can do like late night Q&A. I'll probably take a couple of questions before we finish out for the night, though, because, yeah, like I said, my throat's getting a little wonky. And I've got to run D&D tomorrow, so I need to have all of my character voices intact to show everyone else my the strange characters. Jordan, what a cute name. Lulu's a cutie. Whenever we feel like leaning into the Eldritch horror, we call her Cthulhu, and it's great. What are the Magistus synchros can be summoned with only non-tuners. Oh, Majestic synchros can only be summoned with only non-tuners. Really? That's funky. Those are important. They're very important. How am I supposed to do voices for shopkeeper devils if these pipes aren't in peak condition? Lululand. Oh god. Oh god, we've opened up the hell of a boss multiverse into all of this. That's really what all of the invoked creatures are. They're just like different devils from Imp. If you had to build 5 custom cards for an archetype, what one would you choose and why? Oh god, 5. For an archetype. I want more Gladiator Beast cards. And if Konami's sick of me trying to revitalize Gladiator Beasts, then we're gonna do Madolches. We're gonna bring Madolches back, baby, in a big way. Oh, I see a thing. Mr. Anthem 123. Thank you very much for subscribing. Use a Dalek voice changer. I gotta find one. I would love to do that. I would love to mess with those folks. Just watch our ranger go to town on a bunch of evil outsiders, do 300 points of damage in a single round, and then just have one of them look at them and go, "You would make a good Dalek," and then just watch their eyes glaze over as they don't get the reference. Novelty, uniqueness, obstinacy, power versus current meta, okay, versatility, and alphabetism. It needs a little work, but I like where it's going. Team Chaos Stream, no Dolce, please. Too bad. It's gonna be all Dolce. 5 Dolce cards. We need that level 3 Xyz monster that you can make off of all of our level 3s that then stacks into Choco a la mode, because it says a rank 4 or lower Madolche Xyz monster, and we don't have anything lower than rank 4. More trains. I'd go for more trains too. I want more trains. Earth Machine is a cool deck. Kale Dragon, thank you very much for the €5. Shout out to Performer Pal, Pendulum Sorcerer. Gotta be one of my favorite Dantes. A is for artwork, the art nerd. If they submit art, that'd be cool, but I know most people don't have the ability to do that without like copy pasting like established artwork. So I don't know if that'll be what we want to do. Let's make that Madolche Aleister fusion. Yo, the Chateau, the Aleister Chateau fusion. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just about ready to end the stream right now, though, all things considered. So just keep everyone up to date. Next week is going to be is the last week of November, so we're going to have the patron voted episode, so keep an eye out for that. If you if you are a patron or a member, then you know the specifics on that one because I share that information as it becomes available. If you too want to know what my schedule is, I make it known at the beginning of every month. It's $1.99 for membership. You can find the button down below, just above the description. Or you can join the Patreon, in which case you can suggest a video that I do every month. And if you are a high enough tier, you can vote on a video you do every month. I reiterate this because now that I'm independent, it's more important than ever that I have that financial support. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching and subscribing and seeing these weird late night live streams where we all collectively make an explained video. I don't think I have any other big news aside from that right now. I'm looking forward to hopefully recording a new progression polls this weekend so I can correct the mistake that I did of normal summoning a level 5 monster when I really shouldn't have. Yeah, that's all my updates, so I'll catch all of you next week with some more videos, but until then, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.